Bakhmut, in Ukraine's eastern Donbas region, has been targeted by Russian forces for months, without much success, with clashes in the region intensifying in recent weeks against the backdrop of Ukraine's successful Kherson counter-offensive in the south. The command of the Ukrainian Air Assault Forces released graphic footage on Tuesday that purports to show the bodies of killed Russian troops in and around a trench in Bakhmut. The Russians are storming Bakhmut from several directions at once, the Ukrainian military said. The Guardian reported on Monday that clashes between Ukraine and Russia in Bakhmut has descended into trench warfare reminiscent of World War I. A drone filmed the aftermath of the fighting on the outskirts of Bakhmut. On the video footage published on the web, you can see the consequences of violent clashes in the gray zone on the eastern outskirts of Bakhmut. Due to the extremely high intensity of the fire, the area is not controlled by either the Ukrainian or Russian military, and in fact, dozens of trenches are simply littered with corpses. On the video footage, you can see that tens of thousands of artillery strikes. The area on the eastern outskirts of Bakhmut was actually mowed down. Every day, up to 2,000 artillery and mortar strikes are carried out here. Aircraft and tanks are operating, which makes this area unsuitable for both defense and covert advancement. Judging by the video footage taken from the drone, up to 500 military personnel and mercenaries died in this area alone, which indicates that the fierceness of the battles for Bakhmut is almost the maximum. However, over the past few months, the line of contact in Bakhmut has not actually moved from places, although at the same time, gray zones similar to those shown in the video were formed. On a day of heavy fighting and fast-moving developments across multiple combat zones, the Ukrainians appeared to extend their recent successes in recapturing occupied territories and pushing Moscow's troops into retreat in areas that President Vladimir Putin has claimed now belong to Russia. Away from the battlefield, the Kremlin continued to push a claim, asserted repeatedly without evidence, that Kyiv was preparing to use a dirty bomb, a weapon that combines conventional explosives with radioactive material, an accusation that was dismissed by the United States and other Western nations. In the Donetsk region, the Wagner paramilitary force, controlled by St. Petersburg businessman Yevgeny Prigozhin, appeared to be getting pushed back from Bakhmut, where the mercenaries had spent weeks pummeling the city but making small gains. Military experts said there was little strategic value in seizing Bakhmut, but Prigozhin seems to see a chance to claim a political prize, while regular Russian military units lose ground in other combat zones. Meanwhile, Russian soldiers have been tricked into wasting ammunition on fake Ukrainian targets, according to an analysis of Moscow's invasion. Vladimir Putin's forces also have a habit of killing each other with friendly fire, according to the report. Ukrainian tactics have easily deceived Russian troops who are reliant on out-of-date maps and inaccurate lists of military targets. One incident illustrated Moscow's tactical weakness when Ukrainian forces disguised their own airbase by taking pictures of blown-up hangars. They then printed the resultant patterns on large sheets and then draped them over fighter jets as a form of camouflage. Confused about how Ukrainian pilots were still able to fly given the apparent destruction of their airbase, Russian forces speculated that Ukraine may have built an underground lair where pilots could take off. The report, complied by the Royal United Services Institute, included testimony from senior figures in the Ukrainian military. It pinpoints a number of key failings, such as the rigid Russian top-down command structure. Russian troops have also developed a habit of repeating mistakes. Friendly fire has been identified as a particular issue undermining the Kremlin's war effort. Russia's attempts to capture an embattled city in eastern Ukraine have resulted in colossal losses for President Vladimir Putin's army, according to a top Ukrainian defense official. Yuri Isak, an advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Defense, told CNBC Wednesday that the city, Bakhmut in the Donetsk region, was undoubtedly one of the key hotspots at the moment in the ongoing war. Bakhmut has become a major focus in the current stage of the war in Ukraine, though Russia has been trying to capture the city for months without success. The Institute for the Study of War ISW, a U.S. think tank, said in an assessment earlier this week that recent Russian advancements around Bakhmut do not mean that Russia will be able to fully seize it anytime soon. Russian troops, in their current degraded state, are likely unable to be able to accomplish this task quickly, the ISW said in a report released Monday. In the newest ISW assessment for Wednesday, the think tank wrote that Russia's months-long efforts to advance on Bakhmut, during which it has expended combat strength on small settlements around the city, have resulted in the continued attrition of Russian manpower and equipment, pinning troops on relatively insignificant settlements for weeks and months at a time. Even if Russia continues to advance on Bakhmut after making some marginal gains and ultimately forces Ukraine to withdraw, capturing the city offers Putin's forces little operational benefit, the ISW said.